Dreamers everywhere. Welcome to the Dueling Disney podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andee Zilmerman.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Andee. How's it going?
Great. We are together. If you're watching YouTube, you can tell that we're together today. Al is up in Oregon for a conference.
I am. A work conference.
Except he's not working now.
This is after work hours, in case my boss is looking at this. My boss is not looking at this.
You don't know?
Believe me, I would be shocked if she's looking at this.
Okay. Well, anyway, here we are together in Oregon. We went to Powell's Books already, so we got the important things done. Now we're here talking to you. Also important things to do. How was your Disney week? Or do you need me to go first? No.
I can go first. My Disney week is, as always, is awesome. And this week I got something. Well, actually, I got it like 2 months ago, but I haven't read it yet. For those who are comics literate, there is an artist, very famous artist named Alex Ross, who does his art's really popular because it's painted and it's kind of photorealistic and cool stuff like that. And he recently did a graphic novel for the Fantastic Four, which I got like 2 months ago, but I haven't had a chance to read yet. Or I actually started reading it this week. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. And even though I'm primarily a DC fan, I'm also a Marvel fan. And it's a Fantastic Four book, which is my favorite Marvel property, particularly containing my favorite Marvel character, the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing. So I was just really stoked because it is gorgeous. And we can put on Instagram some of the art from it.
And by we, you mean me.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can put it on Instagram.
But you won't.
No, I won't. I'm 53 years old.
52.
You're lucky that I know what Instagram is.
You think Fantastic Four is going to be in the movie?
I mean, that's the plan. They already had Mr. Fantastic in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
You know, technically, I suppose, but yeah, I mean, that's sort of the big next wave is bringing in the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
Okay.
And so I'm much more of a Fantastic Four guy than an X-Men guy. Like you could leave the X-Men out forever, as far as I'm concerned. I know that's blasphemy, but you know. We've had plenty of X-Men movies, and most of them have not been good. We've also had plenty of Fantastic Four movies, and most of them haven't been good.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see the Thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It would be awesome, and I can't wait. So that was my Disney week because mostly I'm traveling. So that was like right before I got on a plane to come here. What about your Disney week?
I have so many Disney weeks. I have a happy and a sad. I'm going to do two.
Okay, which are you doing?
Same week
first.
I'm going to do the happy first.
All right.
Okay. Happy is that.
If you're happy and you know it, there you go.
So Emma, as you know, is my daughter. And as some of you know, that she works for the Disney Corporation, and she has had a couple jobs within. And right now, her current job is working for corporate events. And so currently, she is working the green room for the executives and other higher ups that
Muckety mucks,
if you will.
Big wigs.
Said, yes.
That
are attending the 100th celebration, which is happening on the 27th of January, the 100 Years of Wonder.
Which is like 3 days from now as we record this.
And probably by the time it's out, we'll be already over.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, but she gets to be there, and I just think it's so fantastic for her, and I'm so happy, which really isn't my Disney week, except it kind of affects me because it's my daughter.
Well, you've spent a lifetime making both of your daughters, Disney people.
Yeah. So the second thing I'm going to share is a little bit sad, and I'm not going to share all the details. You'll understand why. But I wanted to make you guys aware of something. And this was the sad story I was going to tell you last night that I didn't tell you last night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So okay. I'm hearing it for the first time.
Okay. So I have this friend who used to live in Oregon, and she now lives in Florida, and they are Disney people as well. And being in Florida is really great because they can go to Disney World whenever they want.
Yeah.
Her son is, I don't know if he's quite yet 20, somewhere in between 18 and 20, high on the autism spectrum. Mm-hmm. Okay. The kid loves Splash Mountain. As soon as the announcement was made, which was what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was a couple of years. Yeah.
It's been tough for them ever since. Right. Yeah. And she knows, she is fully aware of, that there are racist undertones. She gets.
It's a very different,
totally different scenario when your autistic son is, and I'm talking like he has a Splash Mountain room.
Yeah.
He carries like a little Brer Rabbit plush toy that he has, and just loves the cast members on Splash Mountain know him by name and know him when they see him. Okay, so you get the picture of who he is.
Yeah.
So they went on the last day so that they could ride Splash Mountain, and the cast members super excited to see him and said, "Hey, we want you to be like on the last log right now."
Oh, that's cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
Right. So they're very excited, and the cast members say, "Okay, wait right here by the rope, right on the other side of this rope." Okay, so they're waiting, and then higher up at Disney sees two strangers by the rope that they're not supposed to be there.
Oh no!
And so gets really upset that they're there and starts yelling that they're there. And my friend is like, "Well, no, we're supposed to wait here. They told us to wait here. We're doing the right thing."
Right.
And the cast members see her and see the higher up and no, we told them to wait there.
Right.
They're okay. They're good. And higher up kind of said,
which is often happens when you have higher ups. It's my way
this
or the
isn't
highway.
okay. This wasn't approved by me, and this isn't going to happen. And so, there are cheers.
Yeah,
and that's totally legit, right? There are cheers, and minutes pass by. Higher up says, "Family, wait right here until I figure out what to do."
Right.
So they're waiting, and higher up finally comes back and says, "You're going to go on, but you're not going to be the last one on. Okay. You're going to go on, but that's it.
Right.
Okay." And, so
I'm assuming they have some special thing they're doing for the last one on or what.
Who knows?
Right. Who knows? Right.
All right. That's that. So that's what happened. I'm misunderstanding. The cast members were super disappointed, but it happens. Okay. Well, that's not the sad part.
What?
The sad part is the next day. A bunch of people were at Disney for the closing of Splash Mountain. As you know, the closing of Splash Mountain is very controversial.
Yes, 100%.
Some say keep it no matter what.
Right.
Some say it's the most racist thing ever. Get rid of it. The camp on this is the most racist thing ever. Get rid of it. Took pictures of what happened to my friend and her son.
No.
And started spreading tweets and pictures of them saying these racists are shedding white tears because they can't go on Splash Mountain anymore. They are demanding to be the last on the ride. They're yelling at the cast members. I mean, there's tons of tweets, you guys. I have screenshots of them. You could even look it up on Twitter yourself. And so my friend shared with me some of these screenshots that were horrendous. I think it bothers me that people are horrible.
Right.
But it also bothers me that this is a stereotype I often put on someone of the other side of the political aisle.
Right. And
these people that are saying these things
are on our particular side.
Liberals who think that.
Yeah. And I mean, and here's the thing, right? That is an awful story. And if anybody's listened to our episode about Splash Mountain, you know that we are in support of changing it. That's not, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I have a brother on the spectrum.
You do?
Right? So it really upsets me when there's enough bad in the world to not have to invent bad. Right? There's enough racism in the world to not have to call someone a racist who's not. I have never gone a day without being able to find an actual example of racism. So let's not create it where it doesn't exist. And let's actually maybe talk to people and say, hey, what's the story here? Instead of just,
there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people waiting to get on the ride, right? And so they were all around the attraction as well. So they're taking pictures of my friend and her son crying.
Yeah.
She's crying because he's crying.
Right.
He's crying and the stress of it all.
And here's the thing. You never know what someone's interior life is. Particularly, I'm particularly sensitive to folks on the autism spectrum. Someone who appears to outside perspective to be an adult is sometimes got something going on that you don't know and you can't see, right? It's that it annoys me so much. It's that person who yells at somebody who parks in a disabled spot who doesn't come out in the wheelchair, but they don't know that their disability maybe only allows them to walk for 50 feet fine. But after, there's so many things. There are disabilities that are not visible. And you go in and make these assumptions about people's lives and their motivations for things. And it really hurts people, particularly someone who is on the spectrum, who struggles to manage social situations and struggles to really fully understand sort of what's going on. This is upsetting.
It's very upsetting. Oh. It's very sad. I am so sad for her. I'm so sad for her son. And worst of all is that there are actual threats against her son on Twitter. So people get riled up, right? They're riled up. White women cheers these white people and racists and all this stuff.
Not understanding.
Well, it's totally not even the case, right? Yeah. It's totally not even the case. They were legit in everything they did. They did exactly what they were supposed to do and what they were told to do and all of this. They were not in the wrong at all.
Right.
And so to see these, and then the comments of the people that tweeted in the first place, some of them are actual threats against your son. Just wait till I get my hands on this kid or whatever.
Right. And he's not going to be able to.
That's scary stuff.
That's scary stuff.
So one that I know of as of now, one person that tweeted, and these are like, how do I say it? These aren't just random people that tweeted this. These are accounts, like Disney accounts, like bloggers and Instagrammers or whatever. So these are actual Twitter accounts for people that are followed a lot. And one person took down the original photo or video and said, I apologize. Something was explained to me. This is not the situation.
This is not the situation.
But only one person so far has done that. And there were quite a few people that posted.
Because we don't live in a world where people can sort of double check the things.
I know. I told you. This is why I didn't want to tell you ahead of time. This is why. But I also wanted our listeners and watchers to know, our viewers, because I actually shared some of this with our kids at a middle schoolers, because you guys, we're studying fake news right now. Yeah. We're literally studying fake news right now. This is an opportunity
to learn and to teach. I 100% agree.
It is so. Ugh. Anyway, that's the sad news. There is a happy announcement that I can share with everybody if they read any news today. Run Disney has announced that January of 2024 will be the Disneyland Run Marathon coming back.
Which, if you recall, we did in 2017. Yes.
2017.
So we also 5 years, and we were the second to last.
No, we were it was the last weekend.
Yeah.
It was the last weekend. Yeah. We also said that when it came back, we were going to do it.
I'm happy to do it. I may not be able to run it. I may have to walk it.
It's when the girls.
But as soon as it opens, I say let's register.
Are you insane?
No. I may not be able to run it. I'm just being perfectly honest. But
you can't. You have to walk then a 16-minute mile.
Yeah, I know.
It's hard. The girls and
I have, if you recall, the original thing was my idea.
I know, but I'm just saying that the girls and I did the Walt Disney World one last January, and we were slow, and we were struggling like mad to run the faster than a 16-minute mile.
Believe me, I know. But if I can walk it in the time, that's all I'm saying is I will push myself to walk it in that time. I won't be able to run it because I'm getting my hip replaced. But
would you do the 10K? Or would you have to?
I don't know. I'll have to make 5K. A game time. I could almost definitely do the 5K in the time, 5K. And I could work toward. But do you know when the registration opens?
Next month.
Yeah, I'd say let's register for the 5K because by the time I know
it's going to go,
it's going to be gone. Quick. So let's just commit to the 5K.
Really?
Yeah, that was literally one of the best days I've ever had. It was so much fun.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down. You all can run, and I will walk briskly.
All right.
In 2024, right?
That means that, it's January 2024, but we were talking about in
that's
February.
A year from now.
But we were talking about in February doing the Gumball Rally.
Yeah.
I live far away.
I know. But here's the thing. The whole point is I cannot do that now. I cannot do that now. I'm having an operation so that I can do it then.
Okay.
I'm not saying that I'm going to be the first. I'm saying I'm going to try.
All right. We'll talk about it. Okay. Well, so everybody else, let me know. Guys, let us know if you're signing up for the Disneyland
we'd
marathon
love to
weekend.
Meet people there. That would be awesome.
It'd be kind of fun to do it as a group, as a team. So,
and if you have enough people that can lift me on the shoulders, and then 4 people can run with me.
Lord above. Yeah. Lord above.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
All right. So we were missing the marathon. Now that's coming back. And so that is kind of a segue into our topic today. Al and I are going to share with you the top 5 things that we miss about Disney, parks, films, whatever, that do not exist anymore. And they don't exist anymore.
Well, and the tricky thing about this is, and I was telling you about this earlier, when we were at Disney World, there was all this vintage stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff that I thought I would never see again, all of a sudden I'm seeing just at the parks to get. And between that and eBay, it was hard for me to generate my list because there's a ton of stuff where I'm like, oh no, I actually could find that still. But I think I have a list that will suit the topic.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. Okay. My first one, I guarantee, is not going to come back because we've just moved beyond it. But it was such a huge part of my childhood in the 70s, which is elementary school Disney film strips. Do you remember when we were in elementary school and the teacher didn't want to bother with us that day? And they would put on like an educational film strip or short film. Now, the content may still exist. So like, I'm thinking of like watching Toot Whistle Plunk and Bloom when I was in like 4th grade or whatever. But there was film strips.
Not Menstruation in You.
They didn't show us Menstruation in You, although that is available on YouTube. And it was always, the thing I miss about it is it was like, school's going to be awesome today because Donald Duck is going to teach us about like crosswalk safety.
Yes.
And it was like, as a kid, when you came up with this idea, I was like, the thing that I will never be able to get back is the feeling of being a kid and thinking in class, okay, we're going to do our times tables or whatever. And the teacher being like, we're going to watch a film strip.
Now, mind you, people who were not born after 1970, it wasn't a film.
Nope.
Not a film, like a real film. This is a film strip, like ding, click.
And a record gets played alongside it.
Ding, click.
Record gets played. It was awesome.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, that kind of goes in with what we'll never get back at Disneyland. And man, they better do something. But okay, where Star Tours was.
Oh, yeah.
Used to be Adventures of Inner Space.
Yes.
And you got in your, I can't remember what it's called, but your little mobile that looked just like a white haunted mansion vehicle.
Yep.
So it looked like a haunted mansion, but it was white. And you got in it, and then you were shrunk down to the size of an atom.
I remember I had to convince my mom that wasn't actually happening because they had the thing where people would go in and then you'd have a little model that made it look like you were physically shrinking down. Like the thing that was like that. Oh my God. Anyway, but okay, so it was cool. Of course it was dated or whatever, but it was educational and something that Epcot has, and they're getting more of, thankfully, with this the Land of Water and things. They're going back to the educational kind of exhibits and attractions. And I can't think of anything at Disneyland that's like purely educational anymore. Yeah, that's true. Tomorrowland used to be heavily educational.
It was. And even when California Adventure opened, there was a lot of educational stuff. And even now at Pacific Pier, they have the sourdough bread factory and they have the tortilla factory. But that's going to be turned into San Fran Tokyo pretty soon. So I don't know what they're keeping and what they're not.
Yeah, they're not going to. I doubt they'll keep the Boudin Bakery.
I don't know.
Which, being from the Bay Area, was always kind of, well, I'm not from the Bay Area, but I live in the Bay Area. But it was always kind of cool because I'm like, I go to the actual one now fairly often at Fisherman's Wharf. And it's so funny. They've sort of focused all the educational stuff at Epcot. At Walt Disney World.
So I don't know if California having a lot, but definitely not Disneyland. And Disneyland was educational. Not only did you have that, you had Mission to Mars,
right?
But there was a lot of
like it was
of stuff.
Like particularly Tomorrowland. Like there was Circle Vision.
Yes,
remember Circle Vision? Yeah, which isn't on my list, but now that I think about it, I used to love Circle Vision.
Yeah,
it was like particularly for a kid who didn't get to travel a lot. Like it was like, oh, this is cool. I get to see all this stuff.
So, and that would have been where Buzz Lightyear is right now. It used to be Circle Vision, where you used to watch. Like I know they had a special like China, and you saw China, but most of the time it was America the Beautiful, and you saw the Circle
Vision 360. You would go in, and there's 360 degrees of screens.
No seats. You had to stand up.
You had to stand up,
and you couldn't lean on the rail.
Yeah.
Or sit on the rail.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I wish I would have remembered that. I would have put it on my list.
Well, I did remember it. And so educational things at Disneyland. That was
nice.
That's what I missed from being a kid.
Oh yeah. Probably the only thing left is Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah. And nobody goes to that except you.
Yeah, but this might be making an appearance on my list later.
Okay.
The other thing I think, and here's a clue, it's on this mug, is, and I've probably railed about this on this podcast before, but I know I've railed about in general with all of the things on Disney Plus. I'm so upset by the stuff that's missing. And one of the things that's missing is the Humphrey the Bear cartoons, which I love.
First you pick it
up, put it in the bag. Bum, bum. I mean, me and my brothers would walk around the house singing them. And I love, those are really good cartoons. And if you're not familiar with them, which you probably aren't because they're not on Disney Plus, it's a bear. And it's funny because it's kind of Yogi Bearish, but like way better animation. But bears who were driving a park ranger crazy, stealing food. And there was one that was about litter and it was just really cool. Yeah. And it's one of those cartoons that I loved. I haven't seen it in years, so maybe there's some sort of cultural insensitivity to it. They got plenty of those already on Disney Plus.
You can find them on YouTube.
Peter Pan's on Disney Plus. I'm just upset that this and other rarer Disney cartoons are not available on Disney Plus, like the educational menstruation cartoon. Yes. I mean, I'm not personally upset, but I think it's probably something that people should show their kids. As far as I know, I don't know. I haven't.
There might be advancements.
Made it all the way through it. Yeah. The Humphrey the Bear cartoons. Yeah. And I was so jealous when you found this when we were at Disney World last year, because once you bought it, I couldn't. And then,
I understand. I understand your pain. Okay, where do I go next? This I had in mind when I actually thought of the idea for this topic. I had this in mind, and then Top Disney Facebook page, they actually just had this big, a whole long photo and explanation of it just today or yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, it's America Sings. I love America Sings. It used to be where Carousel of Progress was, and then America Sings, and then it was the Star Wars circle thing. What is it right now?
It's still the Star Wars.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, that's still over there. Although every time I go, it's like closed half the time.
Okay, it's right by Space Mountain, and it's the big, Carousel of Progress. So you sit there, and the original Carousel of Progress is still at Walt Disney World in the Magic Kingdom. But America Sings was a travel through America's music from the very beginning of colonialism to modern day tunes, which was, Joy to the World.
Right. And, which the modern day of the late 60s.
But I loved it. I knew the whole thing in my heart. I knew that we would go all the time. It wasn't a question. We would just go. And then that was our time to rest because you got to sit for a good 20 minutes. But just
while America sang.
I've never seen America Sing.
Oh, it was prior to my, or if I did, I was like in a stroller and don't remember.
Okay. I just loved it. And Rima, my best friend growing up, and we would belt it. We didn't care. And we would sit in there, and it was amazing and awesome. And I still know all the songs. And
most of those animatronics are still at the park, but repurposed. Like most of them went to Splash Mountain, and we'll see whether they get repurposed. Some of them are in, if I recall correctly, Star Tours. There's a couple of them.
Yes. Yeah. The animatronic part of them.
Yeah.
Yes. And so it's funny listening to all these people that are so sad that Splash Mountain is closing. I'm like, yeah, I felt like that one America Sings closed down in the 80s, but whatever. Anyway, I miss America Sings. I miss the whole thing. That's all. I loved it.
I'm really sad I never got a chance to. I didn't even get to see Carousel of Progress until we were at Disney World last year.
That's right,
and we almost missed that because we were trying to get to the fireworks.
Right. But you know what? I think I can't remember. I have to look it up. I can't remember when America Sings started. So I know Carousel of Progress was there in the beginning, but I was born in 1970, and I don't know if
was it like a bicentennial thing? It sounds like it would be a bicentennial thing.
Probably, yeah.
For those who aren't old enough, we were all as a nation very patriotic in 1976.
We were.
It was a really big deal. Yeah. And then like in 1977, we didn't care anymore. But for that year, we were super patriotic. Yeah.
Yeah. True.
All right, so my next thing is related to Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Okay.
And I don't know if you recall, there's a period of time in which, because Great Moment with Mr. Lincoln, right? It's one of Walt's favorites. It's, from the World's Fair. But I think they struggle to get people interested in Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. And there was a period of time in which, in addition to the standard Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, they had this sort of audio kind of thing where you would put on these headphones and they would tell
my
a story.
gosh.
And the headphones were so like super advanced that like I remember specifically like they would be showing a movie and you would hear it in like one ear, not the other. A barber being like, "Oh, let me cut your hair," and then you would hear and almost feel the scissors snip your hair, which was very strange.
Forgot about that
because I've never had a barber use scissors on my hair. That's not how black hair works. But it was like you could literally feel like the snips and all that kind of stuff. And they had done something so specific with the sound in the headphones that you could literally feel what was going on around you only through the audio. And that was like a whole period of the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln's attraction. And then they would do Lincoln's like actual address, right? I loved that. I thought that was the coolest thing. One of the coolest things at the park, and it still didn't like get people to go in, and they eventually took it away. But I remember loving that, and I would go into Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln every time. I do like the Lincoln exhibit, but specifically for that audio kind of coolness. It was awesome.
They had a lot of good stuff going on in there over the years. Like, I mean, the 50th, they had that Steve Martin video that played beforehand. It was like, because Steve Martin used to work at Disneyland.
I think they still have it. The last time I was there, they had it playing on.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No, I haven't seen it since the 50th, but wow. Yeah, they did do stuff. God, see, I forget about this stuff.
I can't imagine it's going to come back. I would imagine audio technology has advanced past that. Although, I don't know. Like, I've yet to have something like that, like realistic. Like, you would literally go like this, like scratch your ear because it was so close.
Totally forgot about it. All right. Well, something that I miss, even though it's creepy and I get why it's out and it should be out, but still, I was a huge Captain EO fan.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Captain EO fan. And
not only to see, but hear.
You think me beautiful. Okay, that was a good YouTube thing. Sorry, on podcast.
If you're just listening, you didn't go. Yeah.
Anyway, yes, loved it. Knew the whole dance because we thought we were going to do it in drill team, so we sat through it again and again and again, making notes of the dance.
And again, you can see Captain EO on YouTube, but it ain't in 3D, and they're not going to spray water in your face.
I think I ate it. In fact, so Fernando, Emma, my daughter's boyfriend, just texted us yesterday or the day before, and he said that one of his coworkers was asking about Disney and said asked if Captain EO was still there. And I think Fernando said, "What the heck is Captain?" Like,
oh, you're kidding me!
No. Like, I really
because remember they had it, and then they took it away when Mr. Jackson went through his issues, but they brought it back. I think the
kids were too little.
Yeah, maybe that's
the only place my kids saw it was at Disney World because they brought it for some special
anniversary re-release.
It was some special thing.
Like that.
It was only open for a little bit, like the summer months or something like that. Right by Journey to Imagination, where Honey, I Shrunk the Audience used to be. Anyway, and yeah, so Captain EO I loved. That was another thing we did all the time without fail.
I unashamedly love Captain EO, and I get why. Like, it's not appropriate, and I get it. I love Captain EO. I love Captain EO.
I really did.
I really do.
You do have the map. Like, it's so good, you guys.
If you haven't seen it, you can pull it up on YouTube. It is not going to be even remotely what the experience was.
No, it's not. But you can see the part where they change scenes and you can tell that the film changes a little bit and he has a haircut.
Yeah.
Like, he starts with like long hair and then it like goes short.
Yeah. Okay. So my fourth.
Are we on 4 already?
Yeah.
You started.
My fourth.
Okay.
Is my favorite parade they've ever had. And it's funny because I've moved recently. And I was going through boxes, and this is the only time I've ever bought. You know how they used to sell the VHS videos of the parades?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have no VHS player anymore, but I still have the video of this parade. And it was a parade that was going when I lived in town, when I lived near the park, so I could go up like 2 or 3 times a week to see it. The Lion King parade, was in my opinion
good.
The best parade they've ever had.
Awesome.
It was so good.
It was really awesome.
It was really awesome, and it came out around the same time as the movie. And I swear, quick story: I was there one day, and it was super cloudy, and I was watching the parade, and it got to the end of the parade. And the end of the parade has the end of the movie where they raise Nala and Simba's cub to the sky, like the beginning of the movie. And just at that moment, I do not lie, the clouds opened because it had been overcast, and a beam of light shone right on the cub, just like in the movie. And this couple next to me, one person looks at the other and goes, "How did they do that?" And I just laughed so hard. I was like, "Yeah, Disney's good. They're not that good." Well, that was a coincidence. You don't know that.
They don't have bugs.
That was a coincidence. And I love that parade.
It was such a good
the Lion King parade. I don't know if that one's on YouTube. I haven't looked for it because I have the VHS, but I have no way to watch it.
I don't know. But if you haven't seen that parade and you've ever been to the Lion King show at Animal Kingdom, at Disney's Animal Kingdom, it's not exactly the same, but there's a lot of similarities. The stilt walkers and the gymnastics, the monkeys with all the gymnastics, they actually had like a parade float where they were doing all those tricks, It was
so
cool. It was really good.
It was really cool. Great parade.
Yeah, it really, really was. God, I totally forgot about that too. See? These are all really good memories.
Yeah.
Boy, kids, I'm sorry that you won't ever get to see these things.
Here's all this great stuff. You'll never get to see. Sorry.
It's not. It's a completely different experience now to go. It is.
I thought you were going to say it's a completely different experience altogether, and then I was going to do the police squad.
Different experience. But that kind of goes along with what my next one is, because they're never going to bring something like this back. And it totally was such a important part of my teenage years. But Videopolis.
I knew you were going to say Videopolis. I knew you were going to say Videopolis.
Videopolis was everything to me. You guys, it didn't used to cost $1 million to go to Disneyland. Like, we could usually afford it as teenagers. And so we could go and have a day at the park. And then at night, right where, what's even there right now? It's Fairy Tale Theater.
Yeah. They do shows there.
Yeah, they do shows there over by Toontown. And this is before Toontown. There was no Toontown.
Next to the castle, to the left of the castle.
Yeah. And MTV just came out. It was big. So big screens everywhere. They would have concerts sometimes.
As a matter of fact, that's where they had a lot. When we went to, not together, but when we went to grad night, I think the biggest concerts were at Videopolis. I think Wang Chung. Yep.
Wang Chung. Glass Tiger was in Tomorrowland. Bobby Brown was
Where was Bobby Brown?
Island.
Yes.
Because I remember, because he was like where Fantastic was, like that's where Bobby Brown.
And I remember saying, they can't get all a new edition. They just have to get Bobby Brown. Little did I know that Bobby Brown would soon become,
Bobby
huge.
Brown.
Yeah. And soon get to marry Whitney, which was what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Do you think the same thing would have happened to Whitney if?
No, I would have saved her.
Yeah.
I'm convinced I would have saved Whitney Houston. Yeah.
Videopolis was everything. So we used to go dancing. I mean, we used to have a fun day at the park. One park, not two. We didn't get as tired as we do now. Maybe because we were young. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we just did a day of rides, and then we did a night of dancing. And it was super duper fun. They would never do it now. There's so many things that would go wrong with it.
I mean, they have problems with adults behaving.
That's what I mean.
Well, to have teenagers, oh my goodness.
They would, I can't even imagine dedicating just that for teenage. Well, adults could too, but it was definitely a teenage spot. It was definitely a teen spot to hang out and dance. And man, it was fun. Yeah. It was just so fun.
Oh my God. I was not local enough at the time to enjoy Videopolis at that point, but I also wasn't a person that was going to go dancing.
You would have? No, that's not true. If we would have gone if it was still around in college, we would have
done that. In college we would have done it. But when I was in high school, it would have been weird.
I don't know. We did it. It was fun.
I do remember seeing Wang Chung there on grad night.
Yeah, Wang Chung was there.
Pretty cool. That was awesome. Okay, so my final, I've decided I changed it because your Disney week had a little sad tinge to it. I was going to have a sad tinge to mine.
You don't want sad.
But I think let's leave on an upbeat note.
I'm going to say
my last one was going to be Chadwick Boseman, but I'm not going to do that because I just miss him so much. I know. My last one, this is going to be so Al specific, and I don't even know if people are going to remember this attraction at California Adventure, but I absolutely adored this attraction.
I know what you're going to say.
And I cannot believe I literally, because it was when they were changing it, I did live in the area, so I went for the last day of this attraction.
I know what you're saying.
It was so moving to me, and I got a little tear every time I went in. It is now the building where the Little Mermaid attraction is, but it was previous when California Adventure, California Golden Dreams.
And it was educational.
It was educational. It had Whoopi Goldberg, and it told the history of California. and it was like all these little vignettes of different. And the great thing about it was educational. It was even like 20 years ago. It really went to pains to talk about the different kinds of people that built California. Yep. And for a Disney park, they talked about some of the difficulties that Disney sometimes avoids. They talked about some of the challenges that particularly racism that Asians experienced in the early days of California. And then at the end, it had this cool little documentary of people who lived their lives connected to California. And it had an awesome song that I still love, Golden Dreams. One More Dream. I just love California Golden Dreams.
I'm telling you, it used to be educational. It didn't do well.
Nobody. I loved it. The reason I could see it so many times was nobody was ever in there.
It was another Mr. Lincoln.
I am such a nerd. Everybody else goes to Disneyland and they're like, Space Mountain. I'm like, Mr. Lincoln, Golden Dreams, Let's go get some tortillas at the tortilla factory.
That is fun. I don't know. Tortillas and sourdough bread.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
No. And it's free? When are you going to get free food at Disneyland?
I know.
But yeah, Golden Dreams, California Golden Dreams. I love that attraction.
It used to be educational, guys. Anyway, okay. Well, which to pick? Okay, I know what I'm going to pick.
All right.
And the only reason I'm not going to go into detail about this, we have talked about in the past. This isn't my fifth. I'm just going to mention that kids today don't know what it's like to go with no electronics. So, and we've mentioned that before. We talked at great length about the importance of not having electronics, being in line and meeting other people. So I won't mention that again. But I will say,
I don't know if you know, you just actually
I know, I did.
All right.
Chadwick Boseman, okay?
All right. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so this is what I miss, which would also never happen again. I miss parking up front. Because what would happen is the parking lot is where California Adventure is now. And really, it looks nothing like it is now. So if you've only seen Disneyland the way it is now, it was a parking lot. And so you really just parked up to the ticket booth. Like and you got out of your car.
You remember you could just go back to your car and like get something real quick and come back?
I did that.
Oh my God, that was so cool.
It's like, I forgot my camera in the car. I just went and got my camera. Okay, now it is like a whole freaking hour process to get into the park. You find your parking place. You have to go walk forever to get to the escalator, to get to the
tram, to get to the,
You have to go through security and stuff too, and then get to the tram, and then do all this stuff. And I get it, because you want to let all the people park there, whatever. But there is something special about getting to the park early and sitting in the car with your friends and kind of waiting. You're waiting half an hour to an hour for the parking lot to open because you want to be there, but you want to be first. And just getting one of those prime front spots right by the ticket booth. And then you still have to go to the ticket booth because, there's no internet to buy your tickets ahead of time. So
no reservations.
Yes. So you just go. And there was something so, what do I want to say? I don't want to say.
There's
something so small town.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's like that thing where Disney's a locals park.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing where it's just like, that's what we like.
You go to the amusement park.
Yeah, you go to Disneyland and you hang out in the parking lot. Like, I just remember being able to go back to my car.
There were picnic tables outside.
People used to just bring, you didn't have to eat at Disneyland. Right. You just, bring your picnic stuff and leave it in the car or leave it in, I heard recently that the kennels are closed now. Like, there's no longer dog kennels.
I don't think there have been for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, because I just got a dog, so I didn't even care before.
There were kennels right outside the park. In the park, like the parking lot area, you could leave your dog at the kennel while you were in the park, and then at the end of the
come
day,
out and hang out. Yeah, oh my God, Gotham would love Disneyland. I can't take my dog into Disneyland.
Can you imagine, you guys, if you forgot your coat in the car, you're like, forget it, I'm going to buy a new one.
Yeah. Now. That's because you have to. Because you know what it takes to go to the parking lot?
I know.
Find your car. Oh.
I know. We used to be able to leave our sweatshirts and stuff in the car. And then when it got cold, you just went out to the car to get your sweatshirt and then go back.
Right.
And the parking lot did go far out. And they did have trams, the little trams that take you through the park. But if you were there early and you got one of those front parking
it's nothing
spots,
like now.
Oh,
if you park, not even if you park in Mickey and Friends, if you park in the Toy Story lot,
no,
you're never going back to your car.
I know. Well, even in Mickey and Friends, you're not going. It's too much of a hassle.
It's a bit of a hassle. Yeah. The olden days.
Now I'm sad.
Welcome to Middle-Aged Disney Podcast.
When I was your age.
When I was your age, Disneyland was better.
All right, you guys. So we've told you ours. What do you miss the most that's not there anymore? And I guess if you're a millennial or a Gen Zer, you can go, shut up. Here's what we have now. So
well, I think that actually might be a good opportunity for our next, or one of our next
what they have now
podcasts is what we have now that we can't live without. Like I think of,
that's true.
I think of
Don't
like,
you dare say Starbucks.
No. Well, yeah, but that's what I was just thinking of. Online ordering of food is mobile ordering is
nice.
So much better than it used to be than waiting in line.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I think there's plenty we could do.
All right. But I still miss. I'm sorry, I still miss. I do. All right, guys. So tell us what you miss or what is better. What is better now? So let us know. You can let us know on all the socials. So
not all the socials. We're on Twitter.
We're not on Twitter. No. And we haven't gotten on any of the new ones either because I don't understand them yet.
Yes.
But once we understand them, we'll probably get on.
Disney podcast, yeah.
But we are on Instagram at dueling_Disney, and we are on Facebook at Dueling Disney. And we have our private community group, Dueling Disney Community Duelists, which is a Facebook group that you can just click to join and we'll approve you so that you can be part of our conversations.
We don't have a Discord server because I still don't know what that means.
And my younger daughters aren't here to run it for us.
All right, good.
If you are watching YouTube on us right now, hi, how are you? You can subscribe in that corner. You can subscribe right there. Or you can leave us comments wherever you are. What did I forget to tell you? Share a review wherever you watch or listen to Dueling Disney.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Dueling Disney is your podcast. Here, age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Dueling Disney is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.